Do you guys know that there's an election in Venezuela tomorrow? Or if you're watching this on YouTube after I edit this down to a clip, there's an election in Venezuela today. It's Sunday. It's the presidential election. And by all accounts, Nicolas Maduro is going to lose. Unless they rig it again. That's the only possible way that he could win. Finally, after all of the joke of the last 5 or 6 years or so, the Juan Guaido-less Venezuelan opposition are probably going to win an election. And it's going to be very difficult for Maduro to really do anything aside from just brazen electoral fraud to hold on to power this time. Basically, every single poll, so polls in Venezuela are not exactly the most reliable thing in the world, but, when it's this bad, it's probably not looking good for him. Every single poll has him losing to the opposition candidate, who's basically a surrogate for a bunch of other opposition candidates who Maduro banned before they arrived on this guy. And the fella in question, as far as the Venezuelan opposition goes, he's not that bad, but he's still pretty fucking bad. Like 20 years ago, he wasn't a horrible guy, but 20 years of being in the Venezuelan opposition can change you. They basically chose him because everyone else got banned and he was just kind of the guy who was left. He's like a career diplomat who was like politically neutral for a long time. And obviously now he's not politically neutral anymore because he's a fucking presidential candidate. My guess would that be he's basically going to be a puppet for the opposition. But what that even means at this point, I honestly don't know. Because basically everyone is opposition to Maduro at this point. He has fucked up whatever good grace he had with literally everyone, even like the Venezuelan Communist Party, etc. I'm not sure who they vote for. I haven't checked, but he started to send cops after the people who run the Communist Party newspaper and stuff because they were criticizing him. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember which Communist Party is which, so I'm just making sure that I'm looking at the correct one because we all fucking know how this works. We all know there's 20 Communist parties and 5 of them are just made by the CIA. But there is one that was very pro-Maduro, very, very pro-Chavez until very recently. Yeah, this is the one. Up until 2022, they were supporting Maduro. And you can see they just made a tweet yesterday complaining that Maduro has tried to criminalize, I'm not exactly sure what the connotation of that would be in English, one of their leaders, so they're not exactly happy with him. Basically, Maduro has made sure that he has no support at all from anyone outside his own party anymore. So there's no fucking way that he's going to win the elections in anything but fraud. And it's sad because the alternative to it is basically Juan Guaido, but more politically astute. And kind of between a rock and a hard place, aren't you? So basically, Maduro criminalized any opposition to him to the point that the only option that you can vote for aside from him is going to be have your own Javier Milei. Not so much in insanity, but in policy. And what do you even do in that situation aside from leave? I don't know. What the fuck are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just leave Maduro in power literally forever. He refuses to even let a successor take over. He refuses to give anyone with any sort of actual electoral viability take over from him. He refuses to make any sort of deals with other parties further to the left of him. The only potential positive is that the opposition is made up of so much, such a variance of different currents now. A lot of them are way further to the left than Maduro, most of them not, unfortunately. That maybe it won't be that bad, but I do not exactly have much faith of what's going to happen in the future here, because best case scenario, if the opposition wins, you get 5 years of neoliberal shock treatment. No matter what, I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Unless the wild card who they set up as president is actually way more, he has some secret left-leaning beliefs that no one knows about, which I don't think he does, that he's hiding from himself and also all of his handlers. It's either that or another 5 years of complete decline and stagnation of Maduro in power for even longer. Yeah, what do you do? There is practically no one in Venezuela who seriously is enthusiastic about Maduro anymore, and any of the foreigners who tell you otherwise have never met a Venezuelan in their life. I know plenty of Venezuelans, most of them very left-wing, and they're just so over it that they don't really care who wins anymore as long as it's not him. It's that bad. He has done everything possible to suppress any sort of dissent against him, both on the left and the right. And he's ensured that the only possible group that's going to be able to defeat him because of that is the one that he handpicked to not outlaw, which is one guy who who aligned himself with like the US aligned opposition. So yeah, pretty sweet. Maduro's legacy is ignoring all of the economic advice that he was given by like good faith international economists, like left-wing international economists all over the world, to just keep doing what he was doing, and basically ensuring that his own popularity and the reputation of his government and really his country in general has been completely destroyed, and any sort of faith in him and the policies that he claims to represent but really doesn't has also been largely destroyed. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll probably upload this video tomorrow morning on Sunday. If you're watching this, what's the future like? Do you have flying cars yet? Who won the US election? Let us know in the comments. But it's not looking good no matter what. And I honestly cannot tell you. I don't fucking know which would be less bad between Maduro staying in power and the opposition winning. Both are horrible.